Friends and family, today it's happened. Today, I was called out by a white belt. His name is Nate, I'm Tyler, and it's a white belt versus black belt match. Let's see how he does. The roll starts immediately with Nate in my butterfly guard. Like a moth to the flame, my hand goes to his neck and I'm looking for the guillotine. But instead of going for the choke, I just push him over and get this nice sweep on him. I think Nate's in over his head, but let's see how it goes from here. Once I'm in this half guard position, I'm just starting to work this guillotine, and I'm not going for the guillotine pass immediately. Instead, he puts an underhook in, which allows me to get a tighter grip on the choke. Once I have this hand locked under his chin, I'm using my second hand, the right hand in this case, to get a nice underhook. Then I'm pressuring forward with my chest, and I use my massive double D size frame to get the tap. Quick replay of this choke. I go for the underhook because the underhook will allow me to keep him flat. Once he's flat, I know I can use my chest pressure to create a lot of choking potential. My hand was already so tight under the throat, I just needed to apply a little pressure on the other side of his neck with my chest, and I'm going to get the tap. This only works if you have an amazing base like I had and you can pressure into them. Tip number 1 when you're rolling. Always engage in hand fighting at the beginning. I'm grabbing Nate's arm here and I don't use it for anything, but it allows me to decide what I'd like to do. If he has all the hand dominance, he's going to decide how the match will go the entire time. Tip number 2 when rolling. Don't call me out. That's how you're going to get messed up. Nate figures this out here because he's starting to shove me down towards my back. I don't like to be on my back. That's more of Angel's thing or those who like to watch adult films. From here, I start to work up by grabbing his head. I know that my hand is under his chin. He's going to be scared about the guillotine, which allows my legs to move. He tries to get past my guard, but I lock it into full guard and I get the second tap. Tip number 3 when you're rolling with somebody. Learn from your mistakes. I just guillotined Nate 2 times. Naturally, that means you should not be putting your head somewhere where I'm going to grab it. So instead he grabs my arms here, works into my full guard, and gets his neck grabbed immediately. Now I'm going to spare everybody. I'm going to go for a different submission this time. Since Nate's posture is broken, I know I can grab my own foot and I can start shoving it past his neck with my squid-like flexibility. From this spot, I'm looking to shove his head forward to clear enough space for my foot. This is naturally setting up the Omoplata roll, and Nate knows it. He attempts to roll forward, but I maintain a nice grasp of his arm, and I shove my butt into his face so I can roll him back into this mount/side control position. Once I have established my base from here, I sit on top of him, I lace up a nice, beautiful kimura that would put Brock Larson to shame, and I get the tap. For my question of the day today, I want to know, what do you like most about Jiu-Jitsu? If your answer is something like, I like to choke other people, but I don't want to go to prison, perfectly acceptable. If your answer is something like you like to be smashed by other people, there's an industry where you can make some actual money doing that. I just want to know what your answers are in the comments below. I'm passing Nate's guard here by having one hand on his wrist to control his arm and the other behind his neck, similar to a guillotine pass. As long as I have his arm stuck between his legs, I know he's not going to be able to stop me. However, he does a nice job of coming to a turtle as soon as I pass his guard, so I start to sprawl on his neck and I'm going to attack him in a different way. Now by a different attack, what I mean is I'm actually going to reach one hand under his chin and the other hand's going to grab my hand to make this kind of guillotine hold. However, I'm not going to finish it. He's going to roll to his back, and instead of following up and ending his life once again, I'm just going to stand up and let him work. He needs to get some work in as well. It can't just be a video about me. If you're looking to study my game, typically if I'm passing around my right leg side, I'm looking for jumping attacks. I hit Nate with this beautiful hip switch in the air to pass his guard like butter. He goes towards his belly looking for a turtle, but I grab his leg with my own, giving myself a minor hook. This minor hook is going to allow me to turn my hips into him so I can work an official back take. My back take of choice is always to have one hand on the back of their neck and start pulling them over towards my strong hook. I do this here and then I set up a figure 4. The figure 4 is wonderful for keeping longer but skinny guys in your guard so you know exactly where they're going to be. I start working with a rear naked choke here, but my squeezing pressure isn't quite there and Nate's also doing some hand fighting, so I'm going to change up my attack. I put my foot on the outside of his hip so I can turn him over. This is a really small move, but it really increases your back attacks. My figure 4 was on the wrong side, but I turned him and now it's on the correct side. Once I have my figure 4 in the correct position, I can start working chokes more efficiently because I'm creating so much tension on his body. When you're on someone's back, it's about patience. I have such a dominant position, there's no need to rush. I actually unlock my guard here because I want to try and capture his arm with my leg. Even if I capture it for just half a second, this usually gives me enough time to start locking up my grip. Then I do an advanced move here. If you don't have enough squeeze, take your leg out. By taking your leg out, you can use it to push their body forward, helping your choke have more power. Currently, Nate has been tapped 4 times. There is absolutely no issue with getting tapped multiple times, and you should always look to roll with a black belt whenever they're available. They have such a diverse game compared to what a lower belt will have that it will help you immensely. I hit a guillotine pass on Nate and I pull his leg with me. I don't do this for any specific reason, I just like to stretch him out and then I go straight to mount with this guillotine grip. Now I have a high elbow guillotine. That means I'm looking to shove my elbow as far north as I can to get this choke. Nate's mistake here is that he's trying to roll to his guard. When you're on bottom mount in the guillotine, that's actually the safe spot because your neck can be flat on the ground. Once he rolls me to guard, I just finish the choke and I get tap number 5. This brings us to the end of the video. If you appreciated the roll, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's push me into the algorithm. Thanks for watching.